Hey everybody, now I scano. Welcome. My name is Lewis, and I'm making this video because I wanted to explain the Seneca Nation and how its current government is set up. A little background about me: I'm Onondaga, Wolf Clan from Cattaraugus territory, and I do a video podcast on this channel as well as an FM radio show playing native hip hop. That's on WGWEFM.com. Although I don't think the current system is the best way, or even according to Gaino Set Goa, the Great Law of Peace, the right way, I do believe it's important to know how government works. In 1848, the Seneca Nation of Indians adopted and approved a constitution that set the framework for today's government. Prior to the Constitution, for thousands of years, the Haudenosaunee people have lived by Gaino Set Goa, the Great Law of Peace. But because of colonization and European influence, the clan system that was in place became corrupt. And with their population decimated, the Seneca people decided to approve the 1848 Constitution, setting up what is essentially a republic. It's important to note that the Tonawanda Band of Senecas opted out and did not sign. The Seneca Nation has two major territories, Cattaraugus and Allegheny, with about 8,000 members. I'm going to read through the Constitution now and try to explain it a little. This is from the Seneca Nation official website, sni.org, but there are paper editions available as well. It's a little long, but we'll try to get through it. Now, this is the Seneca Nation Constitution of 1848 as amended effective November 9th, 1993. Made and adopted in convention assembled, duly called and organized in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution of said nation, convened at the Council House at Cold Spring on the Allegheny Territory, and also the Council House on the Allegheny Reservation on the 15th day of November, 1898. We, the people of the Seneca Nation of Indians, residing on Cattaraugus, Allegheny, and Oil Springs. Okay, let's get into it. Section 1. Our government shall have a legislative, executive, and judiciary department. Now, this way, the government is set up in three parts. The legislative power shall be vested in a council of 16 members who shall be known and called councilors of the Seneca Nation of Indians. 8 councilors elected to the council shall be from the Cattaraugus Reservation, and 8 councilors elected to the council shall be from the Allegheny Reservation. Now, I know this is like 50, almost 170 years old. And I don't like the language in it already. I mean, reservation should be called territory. And I know that the Seneca people want to drop Indians too. I've seen logos out there that say Seneca Nation without Indians on it. I've seen the logo that says Onondaga. I tried to find it for this video, but it says Onondaga, where it says Seneca Nation of Indians on the... Let me just show you real quick. Yeah, this logo, on the top, it says Onondaga, which is our word for us. The staggered terms will be determined by the 4 councilors having obtained the highest number of votes from Allegheny and Cattaraugus. The 4 councilors per reservation with the least number of majority votes shall serve a 2-year term. Yeah, I think they all... No person shall be eligible for the office of councilor unless he is an enrolled member of the nation, has attained 21, and has resided on the reservation he represents for at least 1 year prior for the date on which he takes office. Like, this language in here is he, like Seneca's women could only vote up until like 52 or 54 years ago. So, and if this system has been in place for 150 years plus, women have only been able to vote for a third of that. I think that's pretty crazy. And we should be priding ourselves on our women. The first election under the Constitution will be held on the first Tuesday of November. I don't know what that means. 93 maybe, when they amended it. And therefore on the first Tuesday of every second year. The votes of the nation shall be single ballot containing the names of all party candidates and shall be cast by the individual voter out of the presence of others. Yeah, that's just some stuff about voting day. The candidates have to have their names in 15 days before the election. A single ballot shall be printed at the expense of the nation by the clerk and distributed to the board of electors 24 hours before the date of election. Section 2. 10 of said councilors, when assembled in session regularly organized, shall constitute quorum for the transaction of business. Okay, so you only need 10 councilors out of 16 to have quorum and hold council. In all appropriations of public money, an affirmative vote of at least 10 of the whole number elected shall be necessary. It shall not be lawful for the council to make appropriations of a public money in any 1 year exceeding the sum of the aggregate revenue of that year. But council shall make an appropriation of public money to carry on the government in extraordinary cases for the welfare of the nation. Okay, this says that council has to have 10 people voting in order to appropriate money. You know, what money should go for what. It's a lot of budget stuff. In the case of the vacancy of the office of the president. Now, this is if there's no president, if the president dies or anything, terrible happens. In the case of vacancy of the president, the council shall choose from their number a president who shall hold office until his successor shall be duly elected and shall have qualified. In the case of absence of the president, the council shall choose from their number a preceding officer pro tempore. The government shall have the power of impeachment by vote of the majority of all members elected. The court of the trial of impeachment shall be comprised of the president and the council and a majority in cases. All right, this just talks about impeachment. Section 3. The executive power shall be vested in a president whose duty it shall be at all times to preside over the deliberations of a council having a casting vote therein. Okay, so when stuff is brought to council, the president has a vote. This says that the president can appoint members. And he can appoint them until their successors are elected. The president shall have the power of veto every resolution or other measure passed by council carrying with it any appropriation out of the funds of the nation before it becomes operative shall be presented to the president for his approval or ejections. If he approves, he shall sign it. but if not, he shall return it to council with his objections in writing. Section 4, Judicial. The judicial power shall be vested in a council of appeals, a peacemaker court, and circuits court. There shall be one court of appeals, 2 peacemakers, and 2 circuits on each reservation, each territory, I should say, actually. The court of appeals shall be comprised of 6 judges, who shall each hear appeal. The judges of the court of appeals shall be trained in law. The peacemakers court shall be comprised of 3 judges each, and 2 of whom shall have the power to hold court and discharge all the duties of the peacemakers court. The circuits court shall be comprised of 1 judge each. Oops. Hold on here. All right. This just goes on to talk about the judges. Goes a little bit more in depth about the peacemakers, the duties of the peacemakers judge, surrogates. The term of office for the peacemakers and surrogates shall be 4 years. And I want to note too that the executive and council general elections and the judicial elections are held alternating years, every two years. Every year there's an election, but such matters of the Court of Appeals, the decision of council shall be final. Council acts as a Supreme Court. The power of making treaties shall be invested in council, subject to the approval of at least 3/4 of the legal voters and of the consent of 3/4 of the mothers of the nation. Now, I want to make this noted right here because, like I said earlier, women have only been voting for 50 years. And this wording right here kind of makes me believe that although they couldn't vote, because see, it says 3/4 of the legal voters and the consent of 3/4 of the mothers of the nation, which to me says that they couldn't vote, but they still definitely had a say in the nation, the way treaties were signed anyway. Section 6, there shall be a clerk and treasurer of the nation. Section 7, the Marshals. Section 8 is council may provide for the election of highway commissioner, overseers of the poor, assessors, and policemen for each said reservations and their duties defined by law. Now, there are no policemen. The city of Salamanca, which is on Allegheny territory, does have police, but there's no Seneca police. This says that all those marshals and everything are 2-year terms. Every member of the Seneca Nation of the age 21 years and upwards who shall not have been convicted of a felony shall be competent to vote in all elections and meetings of the electors of the nation, shall be eligible to any office in the gift of the people of the nation. No person shall be eligible for the office of president unless he is an enrolled member of the nation and has attained the age of 30 years and has resided on the reservation he represents for at least 1 year. Now, the age is 21, which I don't know why it's not 18. I would like to see it 18 someday. The council shall meet in general session to conduct business of the nation on the second Saturday of each month in the year, provided, however, the second Saturday of any month is a legal holiday, or if the council votes, shall meet on the third Saturday. The president shall have the power to convene the council in extra session as often as the interest of the nation and his judgment requires. They do have special counsel sometimes. The council shall have the power to make laws not inconsistent with this Constitution. The president officers of the nation shall hold their office respectively until the first Tuesday. Okay, that just has to do when it was amended, must be. Last section. It shall be lawful for the council in their discretion by at least a quorum vote to appoint a committee of 3 for revision of the Constitution. The duty of the committee shall be on 10 days' notice of their appointment to prepare amendments or alterations to the Constitution as amended to the council. It shall be the duty of the council to submit the same to electors of the nation for their approval or objection. Okay, if you want to make an amendment, they will create this committee of 3, present it to council. Council will then submit it to electors to be determined by a majority vote of the qualified electors at a meeting. So it is possible to change this Constitution. This must be the last time it was amended, 1993. That was 25 years ago. So, yeah, I hope that explains it a little better, going through the Constitution. And I hope it gives you a better understanding of the Seneca Nation of Indians government. And I also want to reiterate, too, that the current system strays from the clan system laid out in the Great Law Peace. If you don't know what the Great Law Peace is, Gaino Sagoa, it's a set of guidelines for coming together as a people to make decisions that was laid out by the peacemaker thousands of years ago. And if there's enough interest, I'll make a video about that. If you want to see that video and more, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.